Hey, nerds! It's Geeks of Cascadia. Geeks of Cascadia. Geeks of Cascadia. Exclusive tabletop game podcast for the Pacific Northwest. All levels of gamers. Analog gaming. Tabletop news. Dungeons and Dragons and magic. Stupid, mindless banter.
There will definitely be some. That's probably our best. That's our best feature.
You are listening to the Geeks of Cascadia podcast.
Hey geeks, Blue Samurai here. It's episode 60.
60?
60.
Yikes.
And I am with...
Rebeculus, and to my left
And
is...
I am still Paul.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
He never changes.
We got a great show for you today. We've got an unboxing.
An unboxing.
An unboxing!
Yes.
Yay!
Rick
Is
and
that like
Morty.
a stripper
Yes.
popping out of a cake?
Ah,
An
Here we were.
unboxing?
On this show.
Why do we always talk about strippers on the
I
show?
don't know why that came out of my mouth.
Well, there is that game.
This is great. Stick around.
Yes. Pretty cool. It's going to be really good. And who else do we got, Paul?
We have Alex and Victoria, the designers of Gladius. I never know what
The
to say.
Luci Award winners,
The
right?
Luci People's Choice Award winners from ETX.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
It looks
Okay.
like a great game. That's
does.
really, really cool. Kickstarting early 2020.
Oh, all right.
2020.
We should get on that then.
Jeez.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds so freaky.
Well, in the meantime,
just
though,
me? Yes, it
it is not you. It's not you. No.
You know.
So, should we do con use? Well,
We can do some
All
con
right, let's
news.
do some con news. All right,
Was that enough beginning banter?
I am 100% ready for con
I
news.
launch right into
Yeah,
here.
well-
Well, he is ready. And
well,
that's
plus
kind
we
of
got to do the Rick and Morty thing. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
There's really not much going on in December. It's really kind of frustrating.
Well, there's Christmas.
Christmas is not a convention.
Oh.
No.
Isn't it?
It's not.
Isn't
It's
it?
not. I guess it could be a convention. All your
guess
family
it's
comes
not.
to your house.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Everyone
like
buys the stuffings out of things.
the dumb things that most people don't really want all the time.
I might have to get a fire stick.
Just give me money. Just
A
give
fire
me
stick?
money.
What is a fire stick?
Is it like a
Amazon.
rain stick?
No, Amazon Fire Stick.
Oh, you use it to you plug in a USB
so
port
I've
and
been
start your
playing-
fire.
No, I got Disney Plus.
Oh,
Okay. But the only way I can see on the big TV is I have to connect my laptop to the TV, and there's some lagging issues. And
okay, yeah. I get that.
Legging issues?
So you have to cast
Is
it
that what you said?
stuff. No.
I'm just a girl.
in the world. You see, you have to like kind of Chromecast here. It's a different kind of fire
Talking about
stick.
I don't
fishing now?
No.
What are you talking about?
I've been watching The Mandalorian, and I needed
Oh, I
Have
just
you?
watched
What do you call that little green thing?
the Baby Yoda.
It's,
just call it the Baby
that's not.
Yoda.
Everyone does, but no one knows what it's actually called.
That's
right.
because it was never
We
named.
didn't think, and they never told us what the species is called.
Oh.
And all the nerd boys are yelling at the boys calling it Baby Yoda.
Well, maybe it's
But that's
Yoda. I
There's
bet
no
the species is just Yoda.
There's
I bet
actually
that's what
no
it is.
name for them.
Because
I
they didn't
understand.
tell
Not
us.
to
Well, there
us.
must be a name. We just don't know it.
Well, no, I mean I can't. I looked. I didn't
On
see
the
it.
internet?
I didn't see
That's
it.
because they haven't told us yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
George
That's-
Lucas kept it hush hush,
What a
right?
jerk.
Wow.
I hate that guy.
Can't believe that guy.
Hate that guy.
Hashtag.
Oh.
But if you want to
Cascadia.
say something about that, you can email us at geeksofcascadia@gmail.com, or
You can tweet at us at Geeks of Cascadia.
we even have a Facebook page
We
called
do.
Guess What?
At Geeks of Cascadia.
That's right.
Just search it. It'll
Or you
pop
can
up.
call them both on their private phone numbers, which will be displayed under their
That's
heads
right.
Yes.
here.
That's right.
Yes.
And you can, go to whatever podcast platform that you listen to or on the YouTubes and rate us,
Please.
please. Yes, that'd be great.
At this point, rate us poorly because any rating is good.
Yeah, we don't have anything. Yeah. Well, there's a few people.
It's like
There's a
credit.
few, yes.
You
Yeah.
know who
Credit.
you are.
Like even bad credit. At least you have credit.
Yeah, it's like press.
It's weird.
And
there's-
I'd like to give a shout out to Japan because apparently there's some people listening to us in Japan.
Hello,
So,
Japan.
Is that your
Might
friends?
be a relative of mine. I don't
That'd
know.
be cool.
I got a couple.
Listening 12 times.
Yes.
Thank him or her.
Itabashi. Itabashi-ku,
Arigato.
Japan.
That sounds very nice.
Yeah.
What does arigato mean? Because that's really
That's,
the only word.
thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
There you go. Look at how polite you are.
That's like
you
we're
know.
going to thank Paul for reading us the con news.
That's and the con news
that.
is coming
Like
up
that.
really,
yeah,
really
that's a good
soon.
segue. You're getting better. Your segues. We'll get you a scooter one year.
There's nothing going on in December that I can find.
Wow.
I don't know.
That wouldn't surprise me. It is December.
It's the time to
So
spend with your family.
we're going to jump ahead, to January, which very important things happen.
What's going on in January?
In January, at the Sheraton Portland Airport Hotel, January 4th and 5th, there's Fandom PDX. Looks super cool. Fandom PDX, formerly NewCon PDX, Anime PDX.
NudeCon?
NewCon.
Oh.
NudeCon is a whole different thing.
Yes.
I want to go to that one. I'll
It's
cover
a
that
Portland,
convention.
Oregon hotel-based
See what I did?
pop culture convention.
Covered.
Celebrating cosplay, video games, anime, tabletop gaming, comics, and all things geek. It's their 12th event. That sounds super fun.
Why did they put air quotes around all things geek? I mean, actual quotes. Why?
Well, because
Why?
maybe they don't actually mean there's things that are geeky. Maybe it's things that are like serious or sporty.
Okay.
Or maybe they don't know how quotes work. But also in addition to
Therefore.
going on January 10th, 11th, and 12th is Vancouver Pony Expo in Vancouver,
Vacuum cleaners
British Columbia.
and ponies.
Actually, it's Richmond.
Wait a minute. Ponies as in...
It's not pony play. It's bronies.
Oh, got it.
Both are cool.
We don't judge here.
Whatever you want to do.
I don't know what that
it's
is. The bronies. Can you please explain to me what that is?
They're brothers who like My Little Ponies.
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
Yeah, they watch the show. I'm thinking maybe they get high.
That
What?
sounds really funny to me.
That sounds like the best way to watch My Little
Why
Pony.
have I not known that?
And this is Washington, where things are legal.
Nice.
So it's a convention based on My Little Pony for the bronies. And if that's a thing that you like, it's at 7311 Westminster Highway, Richmond, BC.
You're going, aren't you?
But
No, I am
let's say you like My Little Pony or you don't like My Little Pony, and you're looking for something else to do January 10th, 11th, and 12th. You could go to Bellevue, Washington, and go to OrcaCon and play some tabletop
You
games.
could. You should.
Yeah, go to some panels.
You should.
Eat from some food trucks. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to sell out.
Party, wreck the motel rooms.
No,
don't do that.
don't
mean
do
that. Party like a rock star.
that. No, party like a regular
Party
person.
like an adult.
Yes.
Well, that's not very.
It's going to be great.
constructive.
We're going to have so much fun. We've got lots of people signed up for games already.
Yes, we do.
We've got lots of badges sold and rooms booked, so you want to get those things done before we sell out.
Yeah.
So again, that is in Bellevue, Washington, January 10th, 11th, and 12th. Go to orcacon.org for more information.
Yes.
Or call them at their
Definitely
own
get a
personal
hotel room. Oh, sorry.
phones,
Yeah.
which
Call
would be-
them at our phone
Yes.
numbers.
and they'll
we'll-
just talk to you and
Yes.
explain OrcaCon to you.
And get a hotel room. Very
I know,
important.
we should get one of those Google phone numbers where people can just call and leave you a message.
Yeah, you should.
Sure.
I wonder what things
I'll
they
look
would
into
say
that.
to you.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Oh,
See if we get
nifty.
anything, yes.
This is going to be good.
It's going to be great podcast.
Get a job.
And
So we
that's
got
all I
Is
have.
it my turn? Is it my turn?
Yes,
Is it my turn?
is. Tabletop game news. That's you.
What's the segue, though? You did a cool segue into his segment, and then just nothing, just dead air until I
I talked
spoke.
about tabletop gaming.
Yes. Speaking of gaming,
That's-
there we go.
I guess that's it.
Go ahead.
Right there. So I'm sure you remember from last we met that my next goal for my game review was going to be ecologically sustainably made games. Well, that went out the window because I did something different. And it's getting chilly. It's getting chilly here.
Brr.
And that makes me think of Minnesota, where I grew up. And there's a whole lot of nifty games from Minnesota. So
Really?
this is Minnesota segment right here. And we're going to start.
So, Nick, if you're listening or watching, check out these games.
Hey, Nick.
We miss you, Nick.
Nick, no, we do. We do.
Because we need a cleric.
We do. We do. What was this?
He was the only cleric.
Chiseltooth.
Tell you what, when you lose your cleric, your only healer in a game, D&D game, you can feel it.
Hey, you know what?
We have berries.
Bards can heal.
We had good berries.
We've got good berries. We've got bards. I swear, this guy.
I
He's
know.
so.
He's kind of a whiner of
he's
a
so
wizard.
straightforward.
A wizard whiner.
Yeah,
Anyway,
wizards.
so
What are
first
you gonna
game
do?
that just totally caught my eye for kids and adults alike. It's called Necromolds, Monster Battles, and it's kind of a role-playing, battle-playing game. But there's clay, and you get clay involved in the game, and then you press them into these little figures, and then you also have rings when you play the game. So when you capture and turn a monster over to your side, you pound him with this ring that puts your sigil on him, and you can read.
Wow.
I know, and you think it's just a little kids game, but it looks really involved and really fun. It's fun for adults too. So that is from Necromolds LLC, and they partnered with Panda Games for this, and it's already funded, but there's 20 days to go.
Wow.
And their Patreon page though is super cute. When you just like $20 and you get couple molds and some clay and some cards and some this and some that, and you really get all the same stuff, but the more you donate, the more of those things you get. So it's really neat. I really like that. And it looks just, I mean, who doesn't want to like mush? Who doesn't want to the minifigs are really cool, but who doesn't want to just mush the monsters
Right.
when
It's
you
like
get
Play-Doh.
them? It is like Play-Doh. And you can also
The
let
philosopher.
them, you could all, yeah, it's
Yes.
exactly that.
Okay.
And you have the option also of letting them harden and painting them and keeping them as your minifigs.
Like Shrinkinings.
Akin to that, but not exactly.
Who remembers
out there
Shrinkinings?
Yeah, me. Probably not even you.
No.
You should. We're only like a year apart.
There's a song. Do you know what the
God's
song
sakes.
We're
is?
just a few months
You
apart.
didn't watch TV.
We're just a few
growing
months
up
apart.
like I did. Okay. Anyway, so those things. Also from Bloomington, Minnesota. That's where Verdorn is from.
Oh, for Verdorn.
You don't know Verdorn, but he's from Bloomington, Minnesota.
Verdorn's brother is famous.
Actually, Verdorn's brother Jerry is a star of Guiding Light for
Right.
decades.
That's right.
Ross from Guiding Light.
And we know his brother.
6 Degrees of Rebeculous. Anyway, so they have a game that I'm surprised hasn't been the name of a game before. Social deduction game called Schrodinger's Cat. Has that not been a name of a game before?
That's great.
And one of the things they cited was if you like Secret Hitler, you will love Schrodinger's Cat. It is created by Matthew Wyatt, set in 1935. And the little tin that the whole game comes in, you put this little, what's it called, a meeple? You put a cat meeple in there, and 2 people you show if the cat is alive or dead, and one of them is trying to help everyone out, and the other one's trying to
this
screw
is
everyone over.
great.
And it's a strategy game.
I want this game so
Sounds
bad.
like the more players that play,
Is this
the
on,
better it
is this on
gets.
Kickstarter right now?
Yes, it is, sir. Yes, and they are also already funded because it looks awesome. So yeah, it's, what's it called? Schrodinger's Cat out of Bloomington, Minnesota. It's cool. Also, and okay, all right, this is from Madison, Wisconsin, our cheesy little brother to the east. Dr. Davenport's Dirty Dice Game. That's why I chose it, because it just seemed cool. By K. Kraus. K, the initial Kraus. It is just a dice game, and you are basically telling a story, true or false. The others do not know. You roll dice to see the parameters of the story you're going to tell. You roll a big D20 to see what topic you're going to get, and you roll a D6 to see what your addiction is, and there's 2
Nice.
D8 issue dice to see what's your issue, like it's drugs or overeating or something. These are issues on the dice. It's really awesome. It's super short game. It's just all dice, and tell your story, and then you go around, take a vote, and see who thinks you're lying or telling the truth, and whoever has the most points wins. It's kind of cute. Dr. Davenport's Dirty Dice Game. This one looked great. Sorry, I pounded the table, but this looks great. This is
Looks
from
nuts.
Yes, Beto Games in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This game is nuts. That's what it's called. This game is nuts. Super quick. It's a fast-paced, quick card game. Look at that. I wrote adorbs on my notes because the
Adorbs.
tutorial was super adorbs, and it is super quick to learn. Seems like a combo of Uno and Rummy if I had to, but it's really cute. Cute little graphics. You start with your hand and a win pile, and basically you got to get rid of the win pile to win. And it's like Uno, I say, because there's 3 wild cards. One of them, like, it's like an equivalent to a draw 2. I don't know if you kids remember Uno. Uno's still out, isn't it?
Uno,
It really-
yeah,
it's
people still play
active,
Uno
yeah.
because there's an
Because it's a
absolutely
good
great game. Yeah.
So there's a card where you can swap stacks. There's a wild card, and there's like a draw 2 equivalent card, but they call that one the double nut card. I thought y'all would be snickering.
I'm just gonna drink
once
my beer.
I said that.
I'm
Yes.
gonna drink my beer.
The
Not.
double
Yeah.
nut card. There's 2 nuts on the card.
Is there anything like snow
Like a draw
skiing?
2. Yes. What?
What? Nothing.
Anyway, Beto Games. This game is nuts. And that's already funded, but still on Kickstarter. That thing looks cute. I actually just might pick that up myself. One more. The Hedgehog Hop. Again, Minneapolis by creator Seppi Yoon. It's a hedgehog hop. You you lead a crew of dancing hedgehogs. You're trying to win the grand finale. Super cute cards. It's each card has a hedgehog of a certain color and arrows and a direction. You get your points on moves, style, and backup dancers. And you just kind of do what the card says. And you put the card down, and you might end up moving the whole row up or covering this other one up. And it's
Who doesn't love dancing hedgehogs?
who doesn't love it? And then one more to end
Sure.
it. There is from Duluth, Minnesota, out of Lion's Den Studios, a new 5th edition supplement for running a monster hunting D&D campaign called the Red Cloaks. And it's just in PDF form right now.
Oh,
but
so
you can
DM's
download
Guild, maybe?
possibly.
Yes. Maybe.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't get all. I just quick scribbled this as I was driving.
You're a tabletop game reporter.
She does it while she drives, though. That makes it amazing.
Yeah. Used to do my homework on the bus.
Oh, okay.
Got A's, mofo, so just step off. Anyway, that's what I have. Minneapolis. Woo! Who knew? Does
Yay.
anyone know the capital of Minnesota?
St. Paul.
You get
I thought it was Lake Wobegon.
you get nothing.
Oh, thank you.
You get a pat on the shoulder.
So I just want to add two things. So from Games
Are they from
Workshop,
Minneapolis or Minnesota?
they are not. So from Games Workshop, we got Sisters of Battle. So those of you that love miniatures, check that out. Check out the Games Workshop website. Order one of the Sisters of Battle. I think it's only for a short time. So check that out.
Sisters of Battle. Woo!
Additionally, do you love D&D? We love D&D.
I love
We play it
D&D.
every
It's okay.
Monday, and its 45th anniversary is this year
Wow.
approaching. Actually, I think it's this month. So
you
guess
gonna get
what?
me
Do
a-
you want to celebrate? What?
I do. Are you going to get me a 45th D&D anniversary gift?
I'm gonna
He
get.
is.
Yes,
It's like only $300.
That's right. It's $300. There's only 1,974 because 1974 is when D&D came out.
Oh.
You can buy some dice with a sapphire in it.
Holy crap, those are
It
pretty.
is cool.
They are very cool.
So check it out. I'm not going to get any.
I'm not gonna
because
get
I
any.
can't afford it. No.
No
I'd rather buy a new
kids.
TV.
No.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, you can get them. Anyway, they're 11 custom designed aluminum dice from Level Up Dice.
Is it airplane grade aluminum?
One of the D20 houses. One of the D20s houses a sapphire, a real sapphire.
Now, does that weight it down? Is that going to be a loaded D20 then? Because of the sapphire?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm sure they balance the dice for $300.
Oh, yeah.
God,
They
I hope
better.
so.
For $300, they better
Sapphire.
do that.
Sapphire. Sapphire.
Anyway, it houses a sapphire grown by a rock gnome artificer. I don't think that's true. I think that's just part of the marketing. But anyway,
No, of course it's true.
it's true. Okay, it's true. $300. Check it out.
Yes, for dice.
Yes.
That sounds great.
They better.
I'm going to buy two.
I tell you what. If I'm paying $300, it better
Oh
roll
my
20
God.
Every single time.
Oh my God.
Every single
If
time.
I bought those dice and rolled poorly, oh.
Do they come in a nice, plush, expensive
They
sack?
do. Well, no, a box.
There's no sack?
There's no sack.
How is
No
that
sack.
possible?
If they're in a sack, they'll bang together. You don't want that.
Yeah, you
That's
don't want
true,
that.
too.
You don't want your dice banging together in your sack.
So,
No, that sounds
what
painful.
do you want to listen to next?
I think we should do the unboxing of Rick and Morty, of Dungeons and Dragons versus Rick and Morty.
Well, let's check that out.
Yes.
This section of the podcast is brought to you by Around the Table, Linwood's premier game store and hangout for game lovers of all ages. Buy a game, play one of ours, or join us for a drink. Whichever you choose, you'll have a great time. Around the Table Game Pub. Now back to our show.
Hey guys, here we are. We're doing the unboxing of the Dungeons and Dragons versus Rick and Morty.
Wow,
Which,
so cool.
yes. So I think we should all go on the record of how we feel about Dungeons and Dragons. We love Dungeons and Dragons.
We love Dungeons and Dragons.
And how do we feel about Rick and Morty?
I love Rick and Morty. Watched every episode. You guys?
Do you see the neutral look on my face?
I've watched an episode of Rick and Morty, and I enjoyed it.
Just one episode?
Just one episode. Just now. Just like
Wow.
3 days ago. Well,
I like them both. It's like peanut butter and chocolate.
It's really fun. I really enjoyed it. It was mind-bending. It was hilarious.
Does it make you want to watch more Rick and Morty?
It does. But
Good.
but seasons 1 through 3 are behind a paywall because Turner.
Well, I got some Blu-rays.
Do you?
Yes,
Okay. Maybe I should borrow your Blu-rays.
you should.
Maybe I should.
You should.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Because I didn't have any interest until this came out and wanted to check it out, and because this person who's not maybe your friend, showing my novel, said this is great for everybody. It's like,
It
okay.
is, and this was inspired by the comic book by I want to say last name Zub, because he's the one that wrote it.
And Patrick Rothfuss.
Yeah. And so Wizard said, "Hey, man, this is cool. We want a piece of that." So invited him over, and Jim Zub and Patrick Rothfuss decided to put this all together.
Yes. And this
And Kate Welsh, by the way,
Kate, yes,
Kate
she's the lead design
adventure.
person.
Yes.
And it is really, really good.
It is good.
It is really, really good.
We're not going to spoil it for you. That's going to be a different
This is
episode.
spoiler free. Yes.
This is more of we're just going to do an unboxing. We're going to show you what we got in there.
And we're going to talk a little bit about,
Sounds risque.
I guess, my feelings about it, because I'm the one who's read everything.
You have no feelings.
I have feelings about this.
Oh, all right.
So we should get into it.
We
then.
should.
So first of all, the box.
The box, you get the box,
It's funny.
which is over here.
You don't
box is
unbox
great.
the box because that's
And
the box.
you can use this part as a dice rolling tray if you want. It comes with 2 dice trays,
Good.
which is great.
I suppose you have to watch Rick and Morty to know what wubba lubba dub dub refers to.
Probably.
Probably.
It is very.
You watch, don't you know?
You just have to watch it.
That's not going to get me to watch.
This is fun for people who do not play Rick and do not watch Rick and Morty.
Is it?
Yes.
How? Oh, you,
First
you
of all,
dropped
let's
the
go
bomb.
into the unboxing. So first, we got the box. But
You get the box.
Inside the box,
you
A
get
million little boxes.
pre-generated character sheets,
yes.
which are great because, well, that's like, for example, you're playing Morty, who's playing Keth Silverson, rogue, urchin, half
Got
orc.
some here. Yes, and we'll just tell you there is. Was it 5 character sheets?
5
we got?
character sheets.
So one for Summer, one for Beth.
One for Jerry, who apparently Rick doesn't love that much.
No.
And one for Morty, one for Meatface, who is a new character added to the game, right?
Right. So these are obviously pre-generated characters that you can be. So
Yes.
something to look forward for. And they actually use the 5th edition rules for the for these characters.
Yes.
By the way.
And during the adventure sounds too long to me. It's a dungeon crawl. During the dungeon crawl, so the premise is Rick has created this dungeon because he's a wizard. And he runs his beloved family, except for Jerry, through this dungeon.
Right.
And they play D&D.
And so it comes with an adventure as well, which is, I think
Yes.
you've got that.
I've got the adventure. You've got the rule book.
Hold it up.
Yep. Here's the rule book. Of course, we'll put it on the screen too.
You bet.
And what's really great about this rule book, and I won't, again, this is going
It's
to make
The
this
hilarious.
spoiler free.
pages?
There's a lot, very similar,
There's no
to the rule
there's no
book.
spoilers in the rule book.
But there's a lot of commentary by Rick.
Yes.
There's some alt rules
those dice.
in here. Actually, I've heard from several people that this is actually might be, if you're first time into D&D, this might be a cool thing to get into. Actually helps you really understand
100%.
Oh.
This is, I have read the beginners box, was that what it is? The Essentials Kit, the Dungeons Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook. This is the best intro to D&D rules that I have read.
Wow.
It's really, really good. It's like, oh, I get it now.
It says a lot because Paul knew nothing about D&D.
3 years ago, I knew nothing about D&D.
Nothing.
About D&D. And this is the best introduction to the rules of Dungeons and Dragons, 5th edition, that I have read. And I have read all of them.
Well, that's a good tip because D&D itself is kind of complex.
It's kind of
If you've
complex.
never played before and
This-
you're an
this
adult,
starts
and you're
out real
trying
simple.
to figure
Right.
things
And,
out.
and the book itself is about 60 pages, the rule book.
Yeah.
And
That's my
it's pretty
attention
good.
span.
But
I
there's
could
a lot,
do that.
It is. It's a lot
Maybe.
of pictures. You'd like it.
Oh, a lot of
for
pictures.
you.
Heck yeah.
There's
Yeah.
lots of funny
Absolutely.
commentary from Rick and Morty.
Yes.
But back to the character sheets. On the back side of the character sheets, because during this dungeon crawl, you level up a couple times. There's instructions for leveling up.
Oh, okay.
And even if you continue with these characters in some other adventure afterwards, there's rules for leveling up after that. So that's totally cool. Then that's no spoiler. You're going to level up. It's going to be fun.
And what else comes in the box? You've got
in the box.
you're holding back on the dungeon.
Yeah, we've
master
got
screen, right?
we've got the DM screen, which
Oh, I
on
had that up. You took it
one
down.
side has the stuff you need to play the game. tables.
Because the rules are slightly different, right?
Rules are a little bit different. It's not too bad. Sorry, my screen's making a fart sound there.
Right. Which is
Sure, it's
great
the
for
screen.
we're talking about
Yes.
Rick and Morty, so it's
Yes.
great.
There is the rule book, which is
Yes.
the best rule book. There is the adventure, which is the Lost Dungeons of Wickedness, Big Rick Energy. And you get
Oh, we got the dice.
you got 11 dice.
That's
Oh, this is great.
They're all yellow and stuff.
So where can you get this at?
You can get this at your friendly local game store, which is fantastic. These are my special Power D4s that I just happen to chuck in the box. They don't come with the set, but the Power D4s Kickstarter was great.
I've never seen the underside of a DM
So
screen
it's
before.
like if something
This is
comes up,
exciting. I like this geometry.
you have to make a save. You have to have a challenge for people, and it's all there. And plus, there's fun Rick and Morty art on the inside and the outside of the DM screen.
This is
This is the thing that's made me want to watch Rick and Morty the most.
fantastic.
Is this more than you ever telling me about it or wearing your T-shirt or saying positive things?
But it is incredibly hilarious. Rick does not care for Jerry.
Yep.
That plays into it a little bit.
He wants to kill him.
Yes.
Oh, why?
There's for D&D, there's a significant increase in the amount of butts.
Yes.
Butts?
Butts.
A lot of butts.
There's a lot of butts.
Actual butts?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Oh yeah, we can't do that. Yeah, we
It's-
can't spoil it. Is there anything else in the box, or is that pretty much
That's
it?
pretty much it in the box. There's not.
Okay.
It's not like the essentials kit where there's a bunch of stuff in the box.
right.
It's super simplified. You can easily
good.
easily play this game. Anybody can sit down and read the rule book and run this game.
So my recommendation to people is that if you're new to D&D and you want to get into it, it's actually not that bad.
Right.
It's not that bad because the rules are. It makes it more entertaining when it's done by Rick Sanchez.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know
It's-
why, but it's
super
easier
funny.
to understand.
Yeah. It's like it's the way it's written. It's super approachable. It's like, okay, I get that.
Right.
Where before, there's a couple things where because I played D&D for like 3 years now. A couple things I read in the rule, but it's like, oh, I get that now.
I understand.
That makes sense to me.
And this is available at pretty much every game store. That's where you want to get it. And you can, of course, get it on Amazon.
You can, yeah. It's $21 on Amazon.com. If you do that, it's like $25 everywhere else, I think.
But we like to support our local games.
Yeah,
Support
we-
your local game store. That's really important.
worth
And
the
for
extra.
$4, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
All right. So what we will do is... oh, go ahead. I'm
Hang
sorry.
on.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about the adventure, Dungeon Crawl, without actually saying anything.
Because we're going to play it.
We're going to play it. And I don't want to spoil it for them. I don't want to spoil it for you. There's some really clever stuff in here. There's some really terrible stuff in here. There's some really butt-centered stuff in here.
Okay.
Saying stuff without saying stuff.
Yeah.
It's really fun. My only one drawback is the map is they seem to number the rooms kind of randomly instead of like 1, 2, 3, 4 the way you would go through the rooms in the most likely fashion for your players. It's a little awkward, so you may want to take some notes on that where the rooms are.
Well, I don't watch Rick and Morty, but you had me at many butts.
There's a lot of
So-
butts.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know which one I'm going to pick. I might either be Summer or Beth.
Oh,
I'm not
here's
quite sure
here's
which
my
characters
idea.
I'd like to-
Here,
You don't play
wait,
female?
wait.
Yes, I could. Yeah, of course. I'm a progressive person.
Here's
Anyway, go ahead.
here's what I want to do when we start this game. I want to offer to the table. It's like, okay, we can either do this. You can either roll for initiative to choose your character,
Okay.
or we could do it randomly.
Oh. Okay. Because you can't. Can you play your? Can you do your own character in this, or you're not?
You
allowed?
can, but it would be less fun.
Okay. I don't know why you did that.
That fits perfectly.
All right.
Great.
Great.
That was just to do a little.
So anyway, check it out. It's super fun. If you like Rick and Morty at all and want to play D&D, this is the thing to do.
Sounds
Highly
like it's fun
recommend
even
it.
if you don't.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us.
This segment of the podcast is sponsored by Dragonflight, a tabletop games convention dedicated to promoting the educational and social benefits of gaming in the Pacific Northwest. Sign up now for the August 24th through 26th convention at the Bellevue Hilton at dragonflight.org. Now back to our show.
So I hope you enjoyed our unboxing of Rick and Morty.
That was good.
It was good. I wish I could tell you more. There's so much I want to tell you, but I want you to play it instead and be surprised.
But we are going to do our own, though, right?
We are going to do our own.
Yes.
We could record that, maybe.
We should. What? Maybe. God,
You could record it and put the highlights
maybe
on.
we could do like an extra life thing.
Sure, like live.
I don't know.
Maybe we could.
We
Maybe.
should
we'll talk
air
about
the
this.
segment when it's late in the night and we're wasted. Playing. Then
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
surely that'll be
Sounds
the best.
great. Well, what else do we got going on? We got another
Stuff.
interview, right?
We have the creators of the game Gladius.
That's so
It's
good.
like the show that keeps on.
Right? It's great.
Showing.
We met them at Dragonflight.
Yes. Were you there for that one?
No.
Oh, how about that?
Nope.
Interesting. Okay.
I was watching Weird Al.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got you a badge for that.
I got a T-shirt.
Yeah.
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 Weird Al beats you guys. I'm sorry.
It's the perm, isn't
Love
it?
you, Al.
If we got perms like that, would you come see us instead?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
right.
we're
Yes,
going
I
to do
would.
that. We're going to get giant long
Challenge
perms.
accepted.
That's right. But they were the People's Choice Luci Award winners at this year's ETX.
Okay. Well, let's check them out then.
Cool.
All right.
Hey, welcome back, guys. We're here at Dragonflight 40. We're here with Alex and Victoria, and you brought us your game Gladius to show us.
Yeah. Here's your chance to
Tell us
schlep
all about
Yeah,
it.
come on.
Sure. All right. So Gladius is a game where you play as Roman spectators who are watching the gladiatorial games, and you're trying to rig the games in your favor so you can make the most money at the end of 3 rounds.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So it's a 2 to 5 player card game. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes depending on the player count. And we've been working on it for the past 2 years and hope to launch it on Kickstarter early next year.
That is awesome. So, you said, how long have you been putting this? You said about
2 years,
2
yeah.
years? Okay. A little bit more about the game. So, what's the just cards? Is there a little bit more to it? Or?
Sure. So basically how it works is everyone has a certain number of bet tokens that they use throughout the game to bet on various teams. But the trick is some of the bet tokens are betting against the team. So just because someone's betting on the same team as you doesn't necessarily mean they want your team to win. So there's a lot of cards that help gladiators, poison gladiators, move other cards around, and you're basically trying to figure out what everyone else is doing without them figuring out what you're doing.
Right. How'd you come up with the idea of doing this?
The way that this came about is like a few years ago we went to this Tribeca Games Festival. It was like the person who was there was Riot Games, and there was this game designer, Stone Labrandi, and we were asking him like, hey, we really like games, we want to be game designers, what should we do? And he said the first thing you need to do is like just get some cards and put a game together. And Alex and I both really like ancient Rome. We both also really like light games that have a lot of strategy and depth in them, and so this game was partially inspired by Council of Verona. Have you heard of that game?
I have heard of it a little. I think they played on tabletop.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the early years of tabletop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you wanna
But yeah, so
explain
that
it,
game is like you're betting on Romeo and Juliet, whether they live or die, and like all the families. And it was a really fun game. It's very well put together, very small, but it didn't have enough depth for us. Like we wanted to play it more and more, but there just wasn't enough there. So we wanted to make a game that had that feeling of like backstabbing and mind games and trying to manipulate your opponents, but with more depth and more strategy.
Okay. I love the art. Tell us a little bit about the artist. How'd you get that? That's the most expensive part of game design, right?
Yes.
So we got really lucky because when we were first starting this, art was actually the most difficult thing, especially considering we have 46 pieces of unique art in our game, and we're indie game designers, and not having our own business, that part, like you mentioned, is really expensive. But we searched through Twitter using various hashtags and found one artist. Her name
Hashtag cheap artist.
her name is Cheryl Young, and what was great was she had just graduated from I can't remember, Savannah College of Design or something, but the Hong Kong location that they had. And so we loved that she was super fast. And she's really funny. You can see on some of the cards that she's kind of like a jokester. And yeah, we love working with her. And we've actually just finished the art very recently.
All right. And what are you looking at on, when do you think you're going to be launching this on Kickstarter?
We were aiming to launch this fall, but we might have to do the beginning of 2020 because we have a bunch of other friends. We're a part of the Playtest Northwest game design group, and we also have another group in Seattle where we meet every single Wednesday to playtest each other's games. And so we have a few friends who are trying to launch their games in the October timeframe too, so we might make ours January.
Okay. And is this your first stab at doing the game?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the first game that we really started working on and continued developing. We have a bunch of other games that we have and we're still working on, but we're trying to kickstart this first. And what's also interesting is that by making this game, we were able to move here to Seattle, and then I got a job at Wizards of the Coast. So now I make games. I'm a producer at Wizards. Hooray.
Right. Say hi to Greg Tito for me.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, that is great. So, what changes did you do from the very beginning till now? I mean, is this vastly different from when you first thought about this?
So when we first thought about it, a lot of things were different, but the core of the game, which is the playing cards that manipulate stats, was still there. But we went to a conference called Metatopia in New Jersey, and we got to get a lot of focused playtesting with industry professionals and game designers and publishers, and they give us some really helpful feedback, and that really jump-started the game from just like, a deck of cards and a prototype to something that you could actually bring to a con and have a lot of people play and enjoy. So we've changed a lot of the mechanical systems, and as the graphic design, the art got better, it really came together as a full package.
So why did you decide to go the Kickstarter route rather than trying to seek a publisher?
Good question. We initially sought out a few publishers because we were very new to the games industry. We didn't know the dichotomy between kickstarting and publishing. And a few publishers we looked at and we pitched to them. They liked our game, but it wasn't quite there yet. And I agree, at that time it wasn't quite there. But we really liked having the creative control over the look of the game. And diversity is very important to us, and we wanted a lot of representation and diversity through our characters and through ancient Rome, because ancient Rome is a very diverse place, but a lot of the time it just focuses on like the senators and the people, but we wanted to focus on like the diversity of the people in the ancient Roman Empire. So a lot of that vision we had at the start, we really wanted to carry through to the Kickstarter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that there was actually an art history professor who specializes in ancient Rome. He found our Tumblr and sent us a message and asked to interview us because he was so excited that we had a representation that he believed was closer to what ancient Rome actually was like.
Oh,
so
wow.
that was like a big win.
It was very validating, yeah.
So people should get Gladius because it's historically accurate, right?
Yeah.
At least visually it is.
We like to say it's inspired by history, but not beholden to it. So we have a lot of diversity in the game, and we take some creative liberties of just like, we want to have a cool character over like what would have actually been a gladiator. But we hope everyone can see themselves in the game and enjoy it.
So is it pretty hard to, I mean, you got to have your real jobs to put, food on the table, and you got to schlep this. So how do you balance all that out? Because you got to go to the cons, you got to sell this, you got to, I guess you got to play test it, right? On your free time.
Yeah. Well, the awesome part about it is that we started out in New York not really knowing anybody. We'd never been to a board game convention before. And after we went to our first one, within that same year, we ended up going to like 20 different conventions. And this turned out to be like, this is our great hobby. Now we have a lot of friends. Now we're on board game Twitter. And even though it does take up a lot of time, this hobby is really something awesome to be a part of, especially since our community is very much in person, which is different than a lot of virtual things going on. I have to talk closer to the microphone.
Well, Victoria, you work at Wizards, you got some people work at Avalon Hill, and you just show them, maybe?
That doesn't exist.
What,
Barely,
Avalon Hill?
Barely, a little bit.
It exists. They own it.
Yeah, that's true. At work we work on other games there, so there are possibilities in the future If I ever,
You
if I
just
have
kind
other
of
game
sneak
ideas.
that in at during lunchtime. It's like, hey, let's go play this.
I think everyone at work thinks that the game is done already. They think I published it because it can't. I
It
already
does
have
look
a nice
nice.
box.
It does look nice. Yeah. You willing to sell that right now? No.
Well, it's kind of empty because we left the other stuff in there.
Right. Well, I think this is great. It looks great. We're gonna obviously we'll take pictures and hopefully get pictures from you. Put it here. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you.
So you think? Oh yeah, come to OrcaCon. Yeah, you should come to OrcaCon.
Yeah, we went earlier this year. We love working on it.
Oh, good. Where else can we see you and how do we get you on the social media and all that?
Oh yeah, so our handle on pretty much everything is Gladius Card Game, and our website is catquartetgames.com.
All right. Well, good.
Oh, and you can see us at PAX Unplugged,
Okay.
Big Bad Con.
Big Bad Con, and
Maybe BGG Con, and definitely OrcaCon.
yeah.
Wow. You gonna go PAX West at all?
Oh yeah,
we're
we'll
gonna
also
we're
be
gonna
at PAX West.
West.
Oh yeah, we're
Gosh,
in
don't
the
make me do your job for you, man.
we're in the Seattle Indies Expo area on Sunday. If you want to play test the game with a lot of other great video games in the Seattle area, so they'll be featured there.
Oh, man. Well, that's great. Well, good luck. We wish you success, and hopefully, as we like to remind these game designers, like when you make it big, please remember us. Maybe you can come back later when you make it big. That'd be great. Well, good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Alex and Victoria, I am sorry I was not in on that interview. That looked awesome. That looked great. They're
game-
really super interesting.
The game's really
Lack
cool
of
looking.
adjectives,
Yes.
sorry. Yes, it did.
God, they're so cool. Why we interview such smart people? Why can't we design stuff?
Because once again, it all comes back to us being lazy.
Hey man, we all have our
Are
strengths.
we more lazy, or are we just don't have the mental skills to make
It
it?
might be part of that. We're stupid and
It
lazy.
might be the mental
Okay.
skills, but we all have our strengths. Matt. You have
That's
this
true.
clear on-air charisma,
Oh, thank
Uh-huh.
you.
and
Yes.
then Paul's strength would be other things.
He can get
Also,
light bulbs.
he can drink.
He can change light
drink.
bulbs.
I can
that's
I
one.
can reach things
drink.
definitely. I can
Yeah,
reach
yeah.
things.
He
What
can
about,
reach things.
what about your special power?
I have some. Boy, unprepared for that answer. I don't know. You'll just have to
okay.
just figure it out.
You're good at organizing things, make things neat.
Thanks.
There
I knew
you
I was
go.
good at something. Dang, look
That's
at
I've been
that.
to your
Oh.
I've been to your house. I
yes.
used to
And you
work with
always
you.
make sure that we have
I
beer
am
You
in
make
coasters.
sure we have
charge
you-
of the
you-
coasters
your
every
special
Monday
powers,
night. We are not
coasters.
heathens.
No,
There will be
right.
no rings on these Formica
at
tables.
So we got some, just to let the folks know, we got some great future episodes coming up. We're going to do a deep dive into Tomb of Annihilation, another D&D campaign.
That sounds scary.
Our good friend,
Mister?
Doug, will be doing that. Yes. It's going to be really
Good Doug
cool.
or Evil Doug?
It's Evil Doug. Evil Doug will be
No,
doing
it's good, Doug.
I'm confused between.
Oh,
which
wait, it is
good,
Good
and Evil
Doug.
Doug.
Sorry,
It's
it's
good,
Good
not
Doug.
Evil Doug.
Good Doug. It's Good Doug. It's Good Doug.
Douglas
Doug, you're
Russell, you're good. You're my good Doug.
He's Evil Doug.
No, he's not.
He's Evil Doug. So so that's going to be pretty large because that's like a 2-hour thing. So we'll bring it over 2
Wow.
episodes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did a deep dive into it.
Jimmy
Wow.
Christmas.
And the great thing about our reviews is we actually do them. We actually
Bam.
play through them.
Yes.
Unlike other reviews where they just read about it and they never play it.
Right?
Don't look at those
Play it,
reviews.
yo.
Look at
We
our
are
reviews.
players, yo.
You want to know about Storm King's Thunder? We did that.
That's right.
Yeah,
we
we
actually
did.
played
About
through it.
Waterdeep Dragon Heist? You can
That's
go back
right.
a few.
Done.
and
We
listen
did
to
2
that.
episodes of that.
Yeah.
And Rick and Morty plays D&D. We're going to do
We're
that
going to
too.
do that too.
It's going to be awesome.
I feel obliged to watch some episodes.
You
Before
should.
We play. I know it
It
doesn't
is
come
fun.
into the playing of this version.
It
but I
can
feel
because
left out.
because what you're doing is you're playing a cartoon character, playing a D&D character, playing a D&D,
That's so meta.
right?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty
Wow.
cool.
See, we're smart.
We are smart. So
And
we're
we're
going to...
snuggly.
We're what?
I don't know.
Okay.
I need another beer.
Yeah.
Me
Probably
too.
do. So I think that's about it. We're going to go into our D&D game.
Roll some
D&D
dice.
night.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm not DMing. It's okay.
Me either.
It's all right.
No, you're not either. You're our backup. You're our backup.
I'm the backup.
I know.
That's
I
right.
love my DMs. It's great.
Do you?
Yeah, I
What are
do.
you going to DM?
Long time from now.
Okay.
You know,
a
you gotta
short,
do
a short
it.
thing.
You gotta do it one time.
It'll have to be a short thing.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
I'll be
I'm kind of
expecting it.
scared. I'm kind of scared. It's
Oh,
like
don't be
speaking
scared.
in public,
would
you
love
know.
it. You would
Y'all are
love
gonna
it.
be sitting there and just I don't know.
Would you do
I
a
don't know.
prepared adventure or would you do your own homebrew?
I don't even know how to homebrew.
Don't
No.
homebrew. It is very hard.
Really?
It's very hard. It's got a lot of time writing.
And plus,
Okay.
your players will just torture you mercilessly.
Besides,
the whole
I can't live up to your standards. I mean, you have little tests for us and quizzes and
Oh,
essays
those are
and
just
things,
feedback
and I just
for us.
can't even.
That's the army talking.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it for the show. Thanks for joining
This is
us.
the part where we embrace the nerd.
We do. We
Oh,
do.
oh.
So let us embrace the nerd, and I hope you make that saving throw.